Hi guys, welcome back to the Midweek Trio. So as the title suggests, we have sold the T2. Yeah, let's get into the reasons why. Right, so why have we sold the T2 and sold it so soon? Like mentioned, some changes coming to the channel, and I'll try and cut to a clip. If not, I'll just say it. Some good, some bad. This is one of the bad ones, really. We bought this, and I love it. I genuinely do love it. I'm so happy I've achieved one. It's something I've wanted to have for at least 10 years. And both mine and Mrs. S's lives changed drastically like about a month later. Mrs. S got her dream job, which means kind of a bit of a relocation. And then I got my dream job a few months after that, which makes more sense to do that relocation. So good and bad, and things are changing, but for the good of our personal lives, which obviously comes first. And I know a lot of you support that. It is one of them. You can't keep them all. We haven't even had a chance to go away in it yet, and we purposely kind of haven't, because if we did, we'd fall in love with it even more. So it is just a case of going. It has been a bit of a headache at times to own, but we've rectified that to the point that, you know, it's a really nice solid bus now. You've not seen it on the channel. I started to have a look at what the issues was with bits and pieces on the vehicle, and we started a bit of the work, and then I couldn't finish it, so I had to farm it out. So it's all done, it's all ready to go. The new owner's about to come and collect it, so I thought I'd do a quick video. I'm gutted, I really am gutted, but it's one of them, last one in, first one out. It's a big thing to store. I've already got the Volvo Amazon, which is a big thing to store. And yeah, it's just really, really hard. I really don't know how to get it into words. I'm going to regret it, I think, later down the line, maybe 5-10 years down the line, you know, wishing I still had it. But for the now and for the life that we want to lead, it is the right thing to do, space, financially and time-wise. I've stretched myself far too much. A lot of you have said that. And I need to just stick to the classic minis for now and get the Amazon done as well. You obviously know, if you followed the channel, that you know, I obviously lost my Volvo 940. It was in an accident. I'm all fine, and that's all sorted, I think. The car is now being scrapped, if you've seen the previous video. And everything's kind of moving on from that. But I've got a lot of work to do, a lot of deadlines still to hit. And this is kind of one thing off my mind. So we're saying goodbye to V. We've not been together very long. And I really do hope the new owner loves it. I've put a lot of time into this. Previous owners put a lot of time into this. There's a big stack of history for it. You know, a massive wallet, and I'm gonna miss it. I am genuinely gonna miss it. I think it is. I look at it every day and I think it's just cool, but I do just think it's just not us for our point in our lives now. So the Midweek Trio is 3 questions from you guys. So we'll get stuck into them now. I hope you can appreciate this, and I'm sorry for people that have subscribed for the Volkswagen. I don't know what the future brings. You know, we might dabble in an air-cooled vehicle again. But for now, I have got a lot on, and it is just time to move on. So let's get stuck into your questions, and I thank you for everyone's support on the Volkswagen. Right, so let's get on with these questions now. So the first question is from Velma the Mini, or Rick, over at his channel there. So please go and check out Velma the Mini. Awesome build. He's doing a green Mini Cooper, quite similar to Matt's, but obviously completely different flavour with the end product. But yeah, really good channel, so go and check that out. So his question was basically, he's been into Fords, he's had some Fords, and Ford dropped a bombshell that they're not making a Fiesta anymore. Now, what are my views on that? Personally, I've never massively been a Ford person. I don't even think I've even owned a Ford in my life. I can appreciate some Fords. I more prefer the American side of things, like the Mustangs, you know, and the Falcons and stuff like that. But I don't ever have the desire to have like an XR2 or... Mrs. S is in the background. We did have a Ford KA actually, Maisie, which was a really good 500 quid car. We had it for a good while actually, but it rotted to pieces. But actually, very good point, Mrs. S. Yes, we have had a Ford. But I've never been that person. I grew up, I got straight into classic minis. I've always preferred older cars. And with the 90s flavour of cars, so maybe the XR2s and the RS Turbos that I could have got into, I just like the old Volvos of that era. Hence I had the 940 and things like that. So I've never really got into that, but I do see people's point with the Fiesta and why it is a bit of a shock that they're not making it. I've always known the Fiesta to be part of the Ford group. It's like their flagship hatchback, hot hatch car. You know, you've got the STs and stuff like that. I do think it's a bit odd. And I do think they are going to come back with it in a different flavour. I think you might see the Fiesta come back as like an E-Fiesta or E something else, but that car, that size car, will have to come back. It's a city car. I think they'll shoot themselves in the foot if they don't make it again, or something close to that. Or we're going to stick with all these god-awful crossovers that we seem to be having for every brand and lose hatches altogether, which would be a crying shame. There is going to be some pluses for some owners that have them. The prices are just going to go up through the roof. Ford already demand their money. But my views on it really is I do think it's a bit of a shame. It is, like I say, quite an iconic car for Ford. And to just announce to get rid of it, I do think it's a bit odd. Yeah, what does anyone else think? Has anyone else had Fords? Some people might own Fords as well as Minis. It's just not something I've ever been into. But I do think it's a bit of a crying shame for the motoring world because there's nothing out there now. If Volkswagen did the same with Polo, you know, we'd lost that. Yeah, let's just hope that doesn't happen really, because the hot hatch era is kind of people's first cars and stuff. You know, what are you going to have now as a first car? Drop in the comments, what do you think? The next question is from Gamers Whip. So you've commented and you've dropped quite a few questions with me for these Midweek Trio, so please continue to do so. It is always really good. I think I've answered your question already. Where's the VW? Well, it's not in here. And as you just seen from the beginning of the video, unfortunately it has been sold. Not something I ever thought I'd do. I wanted one for so long, but life's changing, got to move with it. It is the last car in, so first car out. It is kind of the rules, and it's just not got a place in our future now. When we bought it, we were buzzing. We wanted to go around in the summer, and it's just not got its place. We've both changed jobs. We're both kind of moving our lives a little bit, and you will see in the next few months there's another reason for it to be gone. There's a lot of things changing for Simpsons Classics, and you'll see that it kind of doesn't have a place within all that. It is a shame. Maybe one day I'll regret it, but it sat there. It needed to go. It was the right thing to do, and heart of heart, I never really gelled with it as much as I thought I would. I have explained at the beginning of the video. I am a Mini person through and through, and the Volvos I've always loved, and I haven't owned one yet that I have disliked. Even that 340, I loved the work I did on it, and I loved the fact we saved it. There's something about old Volvos and classic Minis, and I think that's kind of my big thing. They're the two cars I think I'm always going to own. The VW for me, I've owned quite a few VWs over the years, various like Volkswagen Passats. I've had a T4 as well and stuff like that I have mentioned. And yeah, as much as I did love it, and I walked out every single day and go, oh yes, I've done it, I've got it. I've scratched that itch, I think, and it's a shame that I haven't owned it nearly, not even a year yet, but it has gone to an awesome couple, and they are going to look after it. And we did kind of get it over that hurdle and things like that. So yeah, that's where the VW's gone, unfortunately. The channel will be changing. You will see the reasons why. And my personal life's changing, so that's the main reasons, really. So yeah, sorry for everyone that's here for the VW. Who knows? You know, we might dabble with something in the future, but I certainly won't be owning one. But I know a few people do have VWs, so maybe we can still play with them on the channel. But yeah, it's been an experience. Let's leave it at that. And the last question is from John Daly. So thank you very much for your question, buddy. We talk weekly, so it is cool you just drop these random questions. This is quite a funny one. It's kind of an ongoing joke with me in our car club and group of friends. 1, 2, or 4 spotlights? You know what I'm going to say. I don't know why I've even asked this question. I've got one spotlight on my sidewalk, and it's been an ongoing thing. I bought my Volvo Amazon, which is behind me. That came with one spotlight on the car, but it did actually have two. It's got a driver's lamp and a fog lamp, and the other one is in the car. It did come with it. I don't actually plan to put spots back on this. I like the clean, fresh look of an Amazon. I don't want any lights on it. I'm not turning it into a rally car or anything like that, so it will just stay as it is. But for classic Minis, I guess we can go with that 1, 2, or 4. The VW was going to get one spotlight actually, so maybe I'm just going to stick with one. I like the look of one light. It doesn't sit well with me because I like even numbers, but for some reason I really like the look of just the driver's lamp. I don't know why. It's quite like a little 60s period thing. I quite like it. It's not for everyone, and the fact that it winds people up so much just makes me laugh, because at the end of the day you modify your cars to your own taste. But that being said, I think ideally you'd have 2. I think if you'd have a soft spot, it's 2, but I just like the look of 1. 4 spotlights in a classic Mini I just think is too much. Like the late Minis, you'll know that I'm not a massive fan of them. I do believe that the sports pack here, I think, had 4 spotlights along the front of it. It's just not for me. It's one of them things, less is more. And I like a clean, fresh look of a car, whether it be a Mini or any other car. Like my 940, when I had that, it was just plain across the front. It was as Volvo intended. I didn't want to add spotlights. I didn't want to add built grille badges or anything like that. I've gone through phases over the years where I've had quite busy front ends on cars, and it's just not me. I always go back to the original again. So the answer to your question is 1 is the cool number, but 2 really, you should have 2, shouldn't you? Makes sense to have 2. So thank you for your question. So if you've got any questions for next week's Midweek Trio, I will try and keep on top of the Midweek Trios. Like I say, things are quite busy at the moment, but we have got light at the end of the tunnel. I've had some conversations, we've made some deals, and there is stuff going on in the background that will make content flow a lot quicker again. Just bear with me over the next few months, guys. Your support is awesome. People keep asking and messaging me about what they can and can't do to help with the channel. I've got stickers for sale on my eBay shop, I've got hats for sale, and I am going to be looking into a bit more merch now. That's the idea. You know, I can look into that kind of stuff now and really push harder with that kind of stuff. Moving forward, I've got quite big plans for 2024. We are planning to do the IMM Germany, so for a Classic Mini point of view, that's going to be good. And I should be able to hit my Amazon a little bit harder with the welding work and get the engine built. So if you're here for your Volvos, please don't leave. There is the Volvos coming. And let's face it, it's not going to be the last Volvo I own. Thanks very much for watching, like I say, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please give this video a thumbs up. Comment away with your questions. Please, if you want to get featured next week, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be motor related. Someone asked me what we're having, what our favourite meal is and stuff, and what biscuits we have with a brew. Stuff like that just makes me grin. So please, it's just good to engage with you guys. So yeah, drop us a question, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.